What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Valvetronic Designs. We're very excited today. We have the full project that we're going to show you step by step here on this Ford Explorer ST. We're going to walk you through all the steps. Which kit should you purchase for your vehicle? What comes in the kit? How to install the kit. Also, if you're going to do any other modifications, how to do those, how to run everything into the car, how to hardwire the controller, and how to choose the exhaust tips that are going to work flawlessly. And we're going to show you some sound clips at the end. Our objective with this video is to show you the entire process for ordering and installing your universal valve mufflers. Today on this Ford Explorer ST, we've got a midsection delete, we've got our single to dual mufflers, which we'll show you here in a second. We're really excited. This is the exhaust solution. Whether you've got a Ford Explorer ST like this, a Miata like that, or any other vehicles like pickup trucks and other SUVs or sports cars, the universal valve muffler is the ultimate solution. And in this video, we're going to show you all the steps so that you know how to tackle the project when your mufflers ship to you. Let's get started. The first step of beginning your universal valve muffler experience, beginning the journey to having the best sounding and most flexible exhaust solution, is indeed on the Valvetronic website. So come on this side and we're going to show you what you need to be aware of when you choose your exhaust kit. So here's what the website looks like. You're going to visit the website and you're going to see take control of your exhaust, and you're going to find the universal valve muffler kit product option here. So click on that. It's going to bring up the universal valve muffler. Now, there's three different styles of muffler. Our T style here, got our single to dual, and then we have our single to single. This is the one we've been selling forever, hugely popular, best product on the market for trucks and those types of applications. But we've recently developed the single to dual, which means you can slide exhaust tips right on. And then for BRZs and BMW X5s and stuff where it has one inlet and two outlet, you can use the T-style. But for this particular Ford Explorer ST, we're going to be using the single to dual. So muffler style, single inlet, dual outlet. You can see that the picture has changed here. Exhaust size, this particular Ford Explorer is 2 1/4 for the factory exhaust piping, so 2 1/2 will work great. We're going to increase the diameter of the factory exhaust just slightly so it fits right on, very easy. And then muffler quantity, we've got 2 mufflers, so that's perfect. Going to add this to cart. So now you go into the checkout and you're going to see Valvetronic exhaust tips. So we're going to click on that because we definitely want to add some exhaust tips to this Ford Explorer ST to complement the look. Now, the inlet size on those mufflers is 2 1/2 inch, so we're going to select 2 1/2 inch, and the tip we're going to go for is the single wall black. Look at that, that's going to be really attractive. We're going to need 4 of those, so we're going to add 4. We're going to add this to our cart. Because we have 4 exhaust tips, we actually save some money. You get a little bit of a discount because you're getting exhaust tips. We offer 25% back. So we're going to go to checkout. The entire kit is $830. That includes everything. That includes your free shipping. And if you want to grab yourself a free t-shirt because you want to look absolutely incredibly handsome at all times, repping the Valvetronic Designs gear, fortunately for you, that's included for free. So you're going to really enjoy that. And then you can check out here, and then your mufflers are going to arrive. The process, figure out which mufflers are best for you, understand the exhaust size, make sure you got some really cool exhaust tips to complement your build, place your order, and it'll be to you in just a couple days. Now, once you received your kit, we're going to head back downstairs, show you what comes in the kit, and we'll be ready for the first part of our installation. So on the table here, we have 2 of our universal valve mufflers. These are our single in, dual out, which is the perfect configuration for an Explorer ST like this. And here's why. If you come over to the stock exhaust, you'll see it's got a single inlet here, which is 2 1/4, and then it splits to the 2 exhaust tips. If I bring single to dual muffler up into the vehicle, look at how well this is going to fit. It's going to be really nice. Going to be able to put our exhaust tips on there and slide them right on instead of welding them, which is going to be great. Again, as well, you can kind of set it on here. We're going to have to make a hanger, which is going to be really easy. We'll be able to have our entrance pipe here come right in, and then we'll slide our exhaust tips on. This is going to be a fairly simple project. Any exhaust shop can do this for you. It's very, very simple. If the exhaust shop can't do the wiring, it's very, very simple to do the wiring process yourself. You can just run the vacuum lines into the vehicle, plug it in with a cigarette lighter. It's very simple. Additionally, in the kit, it's important to remember we've got our vacuum control box here. This might be red, it might be black, depending on the vacuum control box lottery. We've got our power wire. Again, this plugs into the vacuum control box, and this plugs right into power. It makes the installation super easy. We've got our vacuum tubing here. Additionally, with the vacuum tubing, we have our single to dual splitter. So if you have two mufflers instead of one, you use this. We've got our antenna so that you can operate the remote inside the car. We've got our extremely high quality. This remote is important to remember. This is extremely heavy and it's very, very good quality. I'm not going to, but if you slammed this on the ground, you would chip the ground before you break the remote, which is really nice. High quality components is what we do here at Valvetronic, which of course can be synced to the garage door buttons. And that is what's inside the kit. Now there are some optional extras. We have our single to dual mufflers here. We've got our control box, but you can also option separate exhaust tips if you want. You want some black exhaust tips. These are a little bit bigger inlet, but you can choose which exhaust tips are going to be best for you. You saw in the beginning part of this video when we were selecting the options on the kit, you can choose your exhaust tips. If you want to use a Y-pipe on your build as well to split your exhaust tips, if you're using a single inlet, single outlet muffler, you can do that as well. But there's tons of options on the exhaust kit that you can buy to make sure the rear of your vehicle really looks good in the exhaust tip section. We've got awesome exhaust tips from titanium, black, burnt, carbon, forged carbon. Pretty much whatever you can imagine, we can build for you. And everything has our stamp of approval, which is our Valvetronic logo on it. So everyone will know when they see your exhaust tip sticking out of the back of your vehicle, they'll know it's going to sound incredible. Additionally as well, if you have any questions about what might work best for your vehicle, please feel free to reach out to us at valvetronic.com on our website through our live chat or our other contact methods. We're here to help, and we understand this can be a little confusing. In this video, we're going to show you all the steps and make it really easy, very simple, very clear, so that when it comes time to order your kit, it's very simple. So we've got mufflers, control box, optional exhaust tips, and let's get started with the installation. On this particular Ford Explorer ST, we are doing a mid-section delete, which is an H-pipe, which was supplied to us by MRT Performance. Big thank you to them for sending this out. What it is it's a middle resonator delete here. It runs duals, a little bit bigger piping, it's 2.5 compared to the factory 2.25, but we're going to make our cuts here and here. Now this is an optional extra for the kit, not something that we provide particularly, but the Valvetronic mufflers work the best when you've got the vehicle pretty much straight pipe, because the mufflers have such dynamic sound change from loud to quiet. You're able to enjoy the vehicle with its optimum sound characteristics with no compromise. So let's say on this Ford Explorer, you just put in the rear mufflers, you're gonna get a nice bump in sound, but it might not be that aggressive. And because you have the control, you're able to make the car maybe a little bit louder than you think because you have the flexibility. That's exactly what we're doing here. The owner of this vehicle takes his kids around and uses it every day. But because of him having the valves, of which we'll put in place of the rear mufflers, we can do this midsection delete without any compromise. Kind of already marked our cut points, cut here, and then we're going to be installing this, reusing the midsection piping on this particular vehicle, and then we're going to cut here and remove the mufflers and then put the Valvetronic ones in. We're gonna adapt this piping, which is 2.25, to go into the mufflers, which is 2.5. It's important to remember as well, as you figure out which exhaust kit is best for you, 2.5, 3, or 3.5, measure your stock piping. This is quite small, even though it's actually quite a powerful vehicle for what it is. 2.25 is quite small, but you can use the 2.5-inch mufflers. Just expand this slightly, go into the 2.5-inch mufflers, and it's perfect. All right, so we're underneath the Explorer here. We've got our midsection delete, which is our H that has been installed already. Got our hangers installed there. And now we're working on the rear section here. So Luke has gone ahead and we're beginning to flare these pipes here. We're gonna make our bends, and then we're gonna put the mufflers here, attach the hangers, and attach the exhaust tips. We're gonna show you a little bit more of this process here shortly. This is not a super complicated install, but it is important to have a good fabricator or a good exhaust shop do this for you. Now, let's talk spacing. Sometimes we've had people who return their exhaust mufflers stating they do not fit in the particular area. Now, it's important to know that these mufflers are usually, in this case, quite small in comparison to the factory mufflers. So this vehicle, there's a lot of space here. So if I've got the muffler up here, you may say, oh, it doesn't have enough space clearance where the outlet is. Like, oh, we don't have enough clearance here. So there's a lot of movement. You could have the mufflers angled a little bit. You could have them up. You can rotate them slightly. There's a lot of maneuverability with this product, which is great so that it can fit on every vehicle. I've even seen people like with Lexus ISFs, they mount the mufflers like this, so it fits in those stacked exhaust tips. There's huge flexibility with this. So if an exhaust shop tells you, hey, they don't fit, make sure that you're looking for yourself to see if they don't fit, because sometimes exhaust shops don't want to be creative when it comes to putting these in. But we've seen so many really creative projects with these mufflers, and they really fit well because they're a lot smaller. It just takes some creativity. So our fabricator here is going to work on putting everything together, and we'll check back in with him once everything is all up and installed before the final welding procedure begins. Well, welcome back to the underside of the Ford Explorer ST. I look really pasty right now because we have the light we call the sun on, so you can see the magnificent work that's gone on underneath this Ford Explorer. Come with me to the front. Again, this vehicle has the stock OEM downpipes coming down. We've got our stock flex sections, H-pipe from MRT Performance. This really helps improve the depth and the bass and the aggression of the exhaust system, so that's really good. You could use this, you can use an X-pipe. We actually find that this H-pipe setup really sounds very, very nice. We've got this going back 2.5. We've got the factory exhaust piping up until right around here, and you'll see we've got some 2.5-inch pieces that have been TIG welded to work with our new universal valve muffler. So what we did, as you guys saw previously, we cut the factory exhaust and we mocked it up and we TIG welded everything. We have these mandrel bends, which are perfect for flow, and then it goes into our 2.5-inch universal valve muffler, the single inlet and the dual outlet, and we've got some really nice 2.5-inch to 3.5-inch single wall black exhaust tips, which really complement the exterior of this Ford Explorer very nicely. As well, we've got these exhaust hangers to the side, which have been added on. You see these have been welded to the side of the muffler, and you can see we have our vacuum lines right here. Vacuum tubing running up into the bumper vent, which is right here. So again, there's a lot of places in these vehicles, whether it's an Explorer like this, a Jeep, whatever, to run the exhaust vacuum lines up into the car. Shortly, we're going to lower the car and show you where we routed it, and we're going to show you how to hardwire the controller setup. So this entire process, it's not that challenging, but it does take a good shop who you're working with to make sure that everything is correct. So we've got our midsection deletes, we've got our universal valve mufflers, we sized them, everything looks good, we positioned them in the correct place, welded them accordingly, slid our single wall exhaust tips on, everything is tight, and we've ensured the valves are operating properly. So we're gonna lower the car right now, show you how to connect up the wiring harness either into a cigarette lighter or into hardwire power. And you want to use power that's not constant on. You want to use like an accessory type power. After that, after we show you the full process, we're going to show you guys what this Explorer ST sounds like. Really sounds good. Very excited to show you that sound here shortly. Alrighty, so here is how you hardwire your Valvetronic Designs vacuum or electronic controller into your vehicle. We've used the wiring from the exhaust valve controller, and what we've done is just put 2 wire taps here. This is the cigarette lighter to the vehicle, and we've just put the power and ground in. I'm gonna grab another exhaust valve controller to show you where we cut as well. So here's exactly what we did. We took this and we cut the edge off here, right here. The reason we did that is because inside here is just power and ground. There's no signal wire, so it's just power and ground inside there. That's how we were able to hardwire it in. So now, the vacuum control box is hidden back in this area right there, and this makes it so you can have a really, really clean install. Fortunately, with any Valvetronic Designs controller, because this is just power and ground, you can plug this directly into the controller box, it makes it really easy to hardwire. I'm a really big fan of hiding all this stuff so that your cigarette lighter is still usable. You can plug whatever else in, your radar detector, what else. Anything that you want can go right in there without having any compromises. So that's how it works. And then as well, you can see from this angle that we have the vacuum wire plumbed down through where the bumper vents are. But we have the line running through there. It's easy, it's safe, and we're not gonna get any water up in this area. We got the line running down, and then underneath we have everything split, so it's going to the mufflers. The line comes down, we have the T-splitter. We've got this split, one side to one muffler, the other side to the other muffler. It's very, very simple, very easy installation process, fortunately, so it makes a project like this not so daunting. If the exhaust shop that you're at can't do this work, you could do it yourself, or another performance shop can do it, but it's not very complicated, so all they have to do is just run the lines, plug everything in, or they could hardwire it for you. Definitely recommend hardwiring. It's worth taking the extra time to hide all the wires, but we're gonna put everything back together and it's going to look like perfectly OEM. You'd never know this now has an active exhaust. At Valvetronic Designs, we make it happen. And now this Explorer ST project is fully wrapped up. Again, we've got an H-pipe in place of the factory center resonator, and we have our single to dual 2.5-inch universal valve mufflers in the rear with the controller harness hardwired into the vehicle's factory cigarette lighter. We've got a set of 2.5-inch to 3.5-inch single wall black exhaust tips, of course, with the beautiful Valvetronic logo. And now it's time for our first cold start.